Welcome back to Sawtooth Tactical. Is Larry Vickers going to prison for dealing in machine guns? That's what we're going to talk about today, and it looks like he might be. Let me preface this by saying a couple things. Larry Vickers is an American hero, special operations guy, and he's done really great things. In fact, I think he just got through cancer as well, and I'm pretty sure he beat it. At least I hope so. But things are not looking good for him. And the other thing I want to preface this with is that I don't believe that gun crimes should be a thing if it's a victimless crime. Now, if you hurt someone with a gun maliciously and it's not in self-defense, well, that's already a crime. And if they want to tack on years because you used a gun in hurting someone, whatever. But you shouldn't be looking at prison time just for the way you configure a gun, or in this case, for having fully automatic machine guns. Now, having said what I said in the intro, whether I believe that a gun crime shouldn't be a thing or not, it is. And so, protect yourself, be careful. Don't get caught up in things that could send you to prison just because you want to have something that the federal government says that you shouldn't have. Which to me is unconstitutional. You know, the right to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. To me, that means that we should legally be able to have machine guns, be able to set up our short-barreled rifles or anything else the way that we desire. Have suppressors. Shall not be infringed means exactly that. Shall not be infringed. But let's get into what's going on with Larry Vickers. In fact, I actually just ordered a Vickers sling for this rifle. Blue Force Gear Vickers sling. I run the Wilson Combat Vickers mags in my 1911. Larry Vickers is a staple in the gun community. He's a household name if you're a gun guy. And it's hard for me to put this in, it's hard for me to know how to feel about this. He pled guilty to crimes that could put him in prison for a maximum of 25 years. And what those crimes are, without getting into legal jargon, he was an FFL holder, SOT holder. Apparently his SOT had expired and he was looked into, and he was in possession of fully automatic firearms, machine guns. And there was a group of guys, I'm not going to mention all their names because I don't know all their names. I could look it up, but it is what it is for the sake of this video. If you have an SOT, you are allowed to possess machine guns for certain purposes. And you have to write these law letters so that you can use them for these legal purposes. Now, these are not like pre-86 transferable machine guns. These are machine guns that you can use, but you have to like demonstrate them to police departments or things like that. They have to be used for those purposes under your FFL SOT. Now, what these guys are accused of is that they wrote fake law letters, basically. They acquired machine guns for the purposes of demonstrating them to police departments, but they didn't intend to ever do that. They just wanted to be able to get these machine guns, keep them in their own personal collections, and sell them to their friends. And Larry Vickers was one of the guys that got some of these machine guns, apparently kept some in his own personal collection, and sold some off. And he pled guilty to a couple crimes, one of them with a 5-year maximum sentence and one with a 20-year maximum sentence. So he's looking at a total of 25 years in prison for this. I'm sure he wasn't thinking that that's what was going to happen through this whole thing, especially being an FFL SOT holder. But if you do have an FFL, and especially if you have an SOT, you are going to get more scrutinized by the ATF. And even to a lesser extent, but more so than your normal gun owner, if you just own NFA items like suppressors, short-barreled rifles. You are opening yourself up to more scrutiny by the ATF, and so you do have to follow the rules, because they can look at you, and if they do, and you don't have all your ducks in a row, well, you could be facing this kind of situation that Larry Vickers now finds himself in. And I feel bad for the guy. I've watched a lot of content with Larry Vickers over the years. I don't know him personally by any means, but I know of him in a big way. And from what I know, I like the guy. He's a gun guy. But it looks like he made some mistakes. But again, like I said, these shouldn't really be mistakes. You know what I mean? Yeah, he knew what he was doing, and he knew that these were crimes. But as far as the way that our country was founded, as far as the Second Amendment and the Constitution goes, I don't think these really should be crimes. These are laws that have been written, since the Second Amendment was written, and it makes possessing certain kinds of guns a crime, which according to the Second Amendment shall not be infringed. That shouldn't really be a crime. I'm not going to claim to know every detail of this case, and maybe I'm off base here. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think. It is the reality that if you illegally possess machine guns, you could be facing prison time. Look at what happened to CRS Firearms, who wasn't even possessing machine guns, and himself was an FFL SOT, but, he had a metal card with a drawing of a lightning link on it, and he is sitting in prison as we speak, as I'm filming this video. As you're watching it, I'm almost sure. And so that is the reality. And it's a little bit of a hard video for me to make because I don't think that should be the reality, but it is. And so I want to know what you guys think about this. We have a long road ahead of us of fighting to gain our rights back, the rights that have been taken from us over the years. There are thousands and thousands of gun laws on the books, both federally and at the state level all across our country, restricting the possession of certain kinds of firearms. And I'm pretty sure the Founding Fathers meant for those things not to be restricted the way they are. And for people to be looking at maybe spending the rest of their possibly lives in prison for possessing certain firearms, not for hurting anybody, not for killing anybody, to me there's something absolutely wrong with that. But again, let me know what you think down in the comments. If you like this video or if you gained any insight from it, please hit the like button, share, and subscribe to Sawtooth Tactical. And from Sawtooth Tactical, stay strapped or get clapped.